Good evenings, good evenings, Flat Stories. Hope you guys are good. Hope het gaan goed samen met jullie. Tonight we're going to talk about MMA with no strangers. These two gentlemen, they do join us often in the studio when they're available, when they're in town. They've been out of town, they've been busy training. And the one coach is a very good friend of mine. I always say this, that Fidaah Edries is one of the best coaches in Cape Town. But I want to take it a bit further. I want to say Fidaah Idris is one of the best coaches in South Africa. He has produced a lot of champions so far. Mental conditioning is brilliant at that. And also, he knows how to work with young people. And if you guys have followed the story of Terence Balelo, aka the Panther, you guys would know they were a couple of months back. They were in the studio. They were speaking to me about going overseas, and we're gonna just hear what happened after that. But it's so amazing when we see our own people go to fight and they actually do very well in their matches. And in this case, these guys are doing a phenomenal job. So I'm going to reintroduce you to to Fidaah. Apologies, Fidaah Idris, and also let me introduce you to Terence Balelo. Gentlemen, welcome in the
Hi
studio.
there, hi
How's it?
there. How you doing, Stanley? Good to be on
Good.
Cape Stories again.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you for having
And
us.
you guys have been here, I think, in beginning of the year. So you guys were gonna go overseas to go fight. Just tell us
Yeah,
what happened from there, because I've
yeah,
lost a bit of track. We were busy. I know you were also busy. Just tell us. Just
yeah.
recap a bit.
Yeah, so a couple of months ago in January, Terence he fought SA champs in MMA, and then
Hmm.
they were supposed to fight international, and then the 1 year COVID, and then in January the same thing happened again. We had a new strain of COVID, and then
Yeah.
Dubai authorities said SA people is not allowed to enter um, Abu Dhabi at that point in time. So they were hopeful, they were training, they were pushing extremely hard for world champs, world MMA champs. Terence was very excited. We had everything in order, and then last minute cancelled. So yeah,
And Terence, how did that? I mean, you guys have been training very hard for this fight. I know you were very busy for that fight. How has that been? Because I mean, when you train for something and you don't accomplish or don't go to that fight, how did that affect you? Was it a setback for you? And how did you handle that situation?
Yeah, so when it happened, the first thing that went to my mind was like, yo, there's 6 months of grinding, sacrificing, and just putting in the work to go out there representing my country, South Africa, and win worlds, and just putting our gym fighters on the map as well, and all of the other fighters here fighters on the map. So it really, I took it as a, I'm gonna say, it's something good, man. So I took it as God's plan. I'm working
Mhm.
on God's plan. So God gave that setback to me for something greater. And 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the line, I kept the faith. I kept the same energy. I kept training, the same momentum. I didn't stop training. And we got blessed with the opportunity to fight at Omega Fighting Championships, which is a pro promotion, an up and coming promotion. We got the contract and we went for a pro license, and we got the pro license, and we got the
Wow,
pro fight.
wow. And there is something big, Fida, where you look at you've got this pro license. I mean, there is something that every youngster
Yeah.
or anyone in this game wants is the pro license. That is what they've been working for.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
just tell us more about that.
so yeah. So the plan with Terence was, of course, to build him up in the amateur MMA scene, and then
Mhm.
of course to get experience to fight international as an amateur, which is very rare. You would normally just fight locally as an amateur martial artist or fighter, and then
Mhm.
very rarely would you able to fight someone from Upper Africa even or from overseas. So to get that kind of experience as an amateur could have been very good. Is why I would have liked Terence to go fight international. But it wasn't in God's plan. They weren't allowed, although they were able and willing to go. And then, of course, the next best thing was to get him his pro license and then look for a fight for him, which I done immediately after. we were turned down to fight in Abu Dhabi. And it's a big thing in a sense where something became or that was a sport or a passion can actually become a career. So that I think for any youngster out there, um, if you love sport, if sport is more your thing, if you're not that much academic, although of course I believe you still need a brain, you need to finish school
Yeah.
and studies. But if you know that if you have a passion for the sport and you got the willpower to work hard at it, you can actually become a pro in your sport, or so to speak.
Mm-mm.
Any other sport as well, and get paid well if you put in the work and get the results. So, of course, the big stone for him as a step forward in his career, where now he achieves his goal of actually earning money with his fights, with his martial arts
Wow.
career.
Wow. And just step a big bit, a bit back, Fida. He came from a small little town, just a couple of kilometers away from Cape Town, and he
Yeah.
came to your gym with nothing. Hulle sien hom net met 'n paar boxing gloves and 'n paar tikkies. That's all he came with here.
Is a rucksack.
And that
Is
is
a rucksack, yeah.
it's like, and that is what you've put in everything for this license. You've put in everything to go fight against the best, and you're still going to fight against very good fighters. How does this make you feel? How you have accomplished something that this is what you've put in your your trust in. This is what you want to become. You've put your trust in Fidaah and in in the sport. Can you say
Yeah.
so far this is a good payback? Is this a good reward?
Yeah. Yeah. Like Taylor will answer furthermore, but I would just say like it is in any sport. I would say in any, at least we can see it objectively in a sporting careers, that how much time you put in, how much willpower you have to become the best at whatever sport you want to do, and how
Yeah.
determined you are. It will determine your achievements or your results in that sport. Whether you become the best in soccer, the best in martial arts, the best in rugby, and it doesn't matter where you come from. It's more willpower, determination, and you knowing that this is your all or nothing. So it doesn't discriminate against anybody. So anybody, in terms of sports and in life, can achieve greatness if their why factor is big enough. So that's why I like MMA martial arts. It's very fair sport. Those who put in the work get the results. And yeah, Terence can speak for himself. But
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So it's been a beautiful journey, beautiful journey. I do not regret anything that happened on this journey. The setbacks, the failures, the ups and downs. I went through it all, and I'm still willing to sacrifice because in this game you have to be all in. And I told myself I'm going to be all in this game. Blood, sweat, and tears every single time. Injuries, I don't care. I'm gonna be all in so I can pay the full price at the end of the day. And
Mm-mm.
once God decides that He's gonna give me that big break so I can finally live a good life, so I can give back, so I can inspire everyone around me, my team. They live a great life.
Mm-mm.
Once that happens, then maybe I'll hang up the gloves. But for now, I'll keep on pushing, keep on putting the work for them, not just for myself, my family. I want to inspire my teammates. Everyone has
Mm-mm.
been on this journey with me since day one. Everyone who support me, the real ones. So it's a beautiful journey. I wouldn't change anything on this journey. If I can move mountains, like I said before.
Mm-mm. And just to come back quickly, Terence, the question that I want to ask you, you a few weeks back you had a fight. It was something big for you. Obviously, it wasn't an easy fight. Obviously, because everybody's coming to come and win.
mm,
What kept you going? What did you do differently? Because I mean, I saw some of the clips. That wasn't a walk in the park. That was you had to work for it, and you did very well. You
tough
actually
fight.
move fast as well. So just tell us more about your conditioning because I can notice the fight was a bit different. It was a different pace fight. Just talk more about that.
Yeah. So what drive me for that fight was it was my family. It was me telling myself Friday night after weigh-ins, um,
Mm-mm,
I'm gonna do this not just for me, but for everyone who's been with me since day one. This is
mm-mm,
I finally get this opportunity to go out there and be a professional and make my debut and go out there and perform at the highest level, under the bright lights, and just go out there
mm-mm,
and just be me and not get shook by the lights. Some people they once they're under the bright lights, they freeze up. I tell myself I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to perform under these bright lights. This is my home. The cage is where I feel comfortable in. But it's just my mentality as well. And my mentality is always going to push me more than all these guys I'm going to fight. I want to show them all that when it comes to having a strong mind and digging deep, I can dig deep and I can I can swim. I can swim in deep waters and I can take them all to deep waters. So it was just the mentality, the sacrifice, the hard work, and it was the opponent as well. So Vuyo, the guy I fought, I knew he's a tough opponent. I knew he was going to come out even more tougher than the first time we fought. So that pushed me, he elevated me. I woke up in the morning when I don't want to wake up. I said to myself,
Yeah.
you gotta go around because that guy is probably putting work. He's coming
Mm-hmm.
to knock you out or punch your head off your face. So I had to put in
Mm-hmm.
the work, stay disciplined in the camp as possible, kept the focus, keep on putting the work with my coaches, Edries, Coach Aiden, my wrestling coach, Muhammad Saleh, Jiu-Jitsu coach, and just kept the same energy all the time and just push. There was days where I was mentally fatigued. My
Mm-hmm.
body was fatigued, and coach was just like pushing me every time. He told me, "We're gonna do this. Show up," and I showed up. There was no like questioning it because I knew at this level, especially as a professional, you gotta put in the work. This is no longer games. This is your job. So you gotta. It's a lifestyle for me now. So we have
Mm-hmm.
to put in the work every single day. Um, Work hard, work smart, and yeah, and keep the prayer going. So this is a beautiful, beautiful journey, beautiful people I have in this journey. So I'm grateful.
Wow. And I think what actually gives you the confidence also is the man next to you. I've seen him sit alongside a lot of people, and Fidaah, just tell us more about this journey for you as well. I mean, you gave him the mental support, you worked on the conditioning, you worked hard. I mean, Fidaah spends a lot of his time, coach spends a lot of his time in the gym. How does this how does this feel for you, like rewarding, because you've put in a lot of time, you've put in a lot of effort, and you obviously study also the opponents to actually see, what is this
Yeah.
guy's style of fighting, what is his style of of conditioning. So just from your side, just give us a breakdown your journey.
Yeah. So, what for say if we have pro fighters, and then it would be in a sense more easier for me as a coach, like I always tell them, because if you fight amateur, you don't know the opponent. There's no videos of the opponent to study. There's no reference point for you to work a game plan or a style of fighting for your fighter against that opponent. For amateurs, most amateurs, I would say. But for pro, there is always a lot of footage. So you would always look at tendencies of the opponent or habits, because they could always change the styles. And then you have to draw up a smart strategic game plan for that fighter. So it's a lot of thinking, and then of course getting your fighter ready for that kind of fight. And then of course the mental aspect is what we work on in amateur days already. So of course, I have a peak performance program for mental training that they're doing since amateur days, and then we just intensify that peak performance and get into your flow states for fights when it comes to the higher fights and more intense. Um, so on a pro level where there's a lot of lights on you and an audience, then of course composure is the number one factor. Where a lot of
Mm-mm.
fighters, they sort of get tired or they get nervous, they don't breathe, and then they lose composure, and then they don't fight in the way they were supposed to fight.
Yeah.
So of course, if you have that under control, you're really one step ahead of your opponent. You
Mm-mm.
cool, you calm, you patient, you see the openings more than what they would see the openings, because they're all over the place and nervous. So that is the number one factor, I would say, that wants our mental training. And then of course the conditioning for MMA, if you have experience with that, then you know what to do to make sure your fighter is fit, and then also not overtraining, because sometimes you can be inexperienced coach and you overtrain your fighter, and then he actually gets tired in the fight because he has been overtrained. Overtraining can also cause injuries. And then so you just need to find balance with that, the physical training, the mental training, the game plan, and then the fitness of the MMA fitness of your athlete, and then
Mm-mm.
putting it all together. It does take a lot of time, like you said. I am married. I have two children,
Mm-mm.
but the reward for me is seeing like someone like Terence achieving his goal in martial arts and then being a role model towards his people and towards actually all the youth on the Cape Flats.
Yeah.
He's not somebody who came here from America and now he won all our people in SA Champs. He's one of our people, our local people from the
Mm-mm.
Cape Flats, from Swellendam, who said, I want to achieve my goal and I'm willing to put in the work to get there.
Mm-mm.
And now he's seeing results and he's actually getting paid to do something he loves doing.
Yeah.
So that is
And I
my
think,
reward.
right.
Yeah,
And I think what you actually said is that you can turn this into a career. Like we spoke
yeah,
about this the last time as well. Unemployment, young people don't have to be unemployed, and
yeah.
here is an option for them to come and join the gym, get their
Mm,
license. And I mean, some of our youngsters are just brilliant at throwing
yeah,
swings, you know. So I think this is something that people need to look into. And who knows, the next Terence Balelo or the next whoever is sitting out there watching this tonight,
yeah,
and there's a possibility, you know,
yeah,
they just need to be committed, you know. But
yeah.
what is the next step? Want to gaan julle nou? You know, because you guys have won this fight, and I know
Yes.
Terence is waiting for the next one, and you want you want to go out there. What is the plans? Because I know
UFC,
you are
UFC is
strategic.
next.
Yeah. We're gonna our plan is to take the next fight as it comes. So of
Okay.
course we're not naive to say like you won one fight now we're gonna take on the world and be world champions. So
Yeah.
we're very grounded. We put God first.
Mhm.
We believe in ourselves. We don't doubt. But now we just take the next fight as it comes, and then he will build his career fight by fight. Whoever they
Mhm.
put in front of him next, we take on. We drop the game plan and we put our trust in God.
Mhm. And that's the next plan. And then
Yeah.
also, you know, what is also happening in the studio, with you guys now, because I saw quite a few ladies also there,
Yes.
just look the way who is up next there, because ek weet daar's een
Yes.
dametje vir jou wat
We're
baie
sending a
atleet.
shout out, yes, to Sada Fish. Sada Fish,
Yeah.
she was on Cape Fest Stories the last time with me as well, representing
Yeah.
the females out there. She's always speaking. She does the female self-defense classes, teaching females to fight back. That females are not weaker than males; that they can actually defend themselves and fight back. Female empowerment. So she's fighting a Muay Thai fight tomorrow night
Wow.
at Grand West. So Muay Thai is like kickboxing with elbow and knee strikes. So yeah,
Mm-mm.
so that is on at Pyolix. You can get them on YouTube. Should be
Mm-mm.
very exciting. And then she's also fighting at SMA Champs in Joburg
Mm-mm.
next month, the 16th to the 18th of June. She will be fighting there as well. Yeah.
Mm. Coach, she's put in a lot of effort.
So she has
She's
a
really worked hard.
yes,
I mean, if I look at that girl throw a punch, ek kry die ou jamme wat vir haar wil aanvat.
exactly. Yeah, and she's even more improved now. So I'm excited for
Wow.
the fight tomorrow. Yeah, what's gonna
Wow.
happen?
And this sport is all about commitment. This sport is all
Yeah.
about commitment, right?
It's all about commitment, and that's why we're always talking about the youth on the Cape Flats and what must other people do for them and stuff like that. But I believe that if the youth say, look here, if I'm going to wait for somebody else, I might wait very long. But what can I do? Do
Yeah.
I you can you join a professional soccer club? Can you join a professional rugby club? Can you join a club that can make you professional in martial arts and get paid for it, like a boxing gym? There's a lot of boxing gym on the Cape Flats where you can get
Yeah.
paid, or the MMA gym where you can get paid. So so you can make positive choices yourself to do things that will empower yourself. And I think that is like very important. Say, look, I'm responsible for my future and my well-being, so I can actually do something. So I want to make some effort um, in that regard, and then I know what result I'm going to get. Because you're going to rely on other people, you're going to wait too long. If the government does come,
Yeah.
good for that. The mayor does help out here and there in the community, good for that. But the most important power you have is what you can physically take action every single day and commit to your own inner greatness, to your own greater future, and say, I'm responsible for myself and do what needs
Mm-mm.
to be done.
And I think you said it very well, is we need to take action. We need to action our plans. It's no use we're
Yeah,
gonna sit there and feel sorry for ourselves.
yeah,
And I think Faiz, the sports actually teach you that. The sports
Mhm.
teach you a lot of discipline, right?
Yeah. Yes. So martial arts, it teaches you discipline, not just fighting like a lot of people do think. To get to a high skill level, you have to put in a lot of hours, and your coach would always tell you do this right, doing this wrong. You might get
Mm-mm.
frustrated, but it's no use. You do techniques wrong, like punches is not just a box. There's a certain way you do it, kicks, knees, and then of course jujitsu, MMA, wrestling. It's all a
Yeah,
lot of different techniques, and to get good at it, you need to put in a lot of hours. So that's where the discipline comes in, the hard work comes in, the consistency comes in. And then, of course, it's a sport, so you enjoy it as well. And then, of course, you have a development pathway. You want to get to the next belt. You know, it's not just like a 1 month diploma course. You must do it for a couple of years to become good at it. So to be good at kickboxing, we're doing grading. You must do a
yeah,
couple of years to get to black belt. For jiu-jitsu, it's even longer years to get there. So there's always the next goal to achieve. You can, even if you have a black belt, you get stripes on your black belt, you can become better. So that
yeah.
is why I think sports is very good. Martial arts is very good because there's
Mm-mm.
always something more to achieve in your development. So it pushes you. So I think it's extremely good to develop character in our youth, um, and even young adults develop some discipline, develop some grit, develop some character, and
Yeah.
that's all qualities which they really do need today's times.
Mm-mm. Terence, any last words from you? Anything you want to put out there? You've worked hard, and I want to say, well done, boy, well done. Because when I met you, you have always been this humble boy, or not, I wasn't say boy, this young man, and now I still see you being very humble as well. I think that is one of the keys is to be humble. Many people they achieve something in life in whatever, and it actually goes to the head, and later on they think that, like coach had said early on, they want to do everything, and you can so easily lose focus. I think that is the main thing for you, is to keep focus, and always to condition that mind of yours to be the best, but also not to show it out here, but to keep it in here. So any words from your side that you want to just leave with our viewers? There is a Terence sitting out there. There is a boy that actually wants to do
So I
something
just
like
want
this.
to, yeah, once again, I
Mhm.
just want to thank you, Stanley, for this for this platform, beautiful platform. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Everyone supported me since day one, and everyone who's been on this journey with me and still on this
Mhm.
journey with me, the real ones. Thank you so much. I want to thank my sponsors, Personal Physiotherapy, Air Pose and Balancing, Deep Massage, Hajidas, he does that for me. Best massage therapist I can have, and Paddison Bully sponsoring me as well. And
So close to the logo.
yeah, there we go. Where you guys at? There we go. Support. And I just want to say for the youth out there who's going through tough times, just keep the prayer, keep the
Mhm.
prayer, keep talking to God, and eventually everything's gonna work out for you. Keep on believing in yourself. Don't let no one tell you that you are not worth it, because you are worth it. Nothing in this world is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible. So keep on pushing, keep on believing in yourself, keep the faith, trust the process. Like I said before, enjoy this journey. Faith can move
Mhm.
mountains, and you all special, man. Keep on pushing, and I just want to keep on inspiring my people from Swellendam, my family back home. I'm gonna see you guys in like 2 days time. Sunday I
Wow,
go home
wow,
and see you guys. I appreciate
nice.
everyone. My family in Cape Town. Everyone has been with me on this journey, man. I love you guys all so much, and you guys know who you are. And thank you so much for everything. My coaches, my team. I love you guys all. Thank you, Stan, once again for this platform, and everyone out there.
Nice.
Yeah, stay with me on this journey, and I'll see you guys at the top. On to the next one. Let's go get it. UFC.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Coach, over to you. Anything you
Yeah.
want to add?
Yes, I just want to add up to what our next few weeks is looking like at Fighters Inc. We do have, like I said, sort of fish fighting near tomorrow, Muay Thai, at the Alex event. And then we have next weekend, we have two of our juniors, age 13 and 14, the Yasin and Umar Edwards, who's fighting MMA champs. And then we have on the 16th to the 18th of June, we have Sort of Fish. Heinrich Jacobs, and Shiraz Williams, who's fighting at SA MMA champs as well. That's coming up. So, and then we also have some guys doing white collar boxing. It's still to be confirmed. So yeah, so we have a very busy schedule for the next couple of weeks. From my side, I would like to just encourage all the youth out there, do a sport, like I always say, do a sport, focus on what you are good at, believe in yourself, that God made everybody equal with the same abilities as the ones who realize the power of God within themselves and commit to achieving the inner greatness, and that sacrifices for their goals and take responsibility for their lives and their future, and then works at it, whatever it is, your work, your job, your sport, non-stop. And then when you achieve that form of excellence, you earn a living, you develop, you have a future, and then you actually want to empower other people as well. So that would be my ultimate goal, is to develop athletes or people that actually are empowered to help other people, in the future. So I encourage everybody to get committed and get their mindset on that level. That youth on the Cape Flats, you are gold. Don't believe anything else. I think a lot of us have inferior complex where we feel like other people are whatever classes are higher than them and they are aren't meant to live this life. You are gold. You are diamonds. You can achieve anything you set your heart and mind.
Fidaah, thank you so much. But there's just one
Thank you
thing I'm
very
going to
much.
tell you again. I'm very
Yes.
upset with you. You always
Why?
do it. You can't wear t-shirts with bullies on, bro. You have got pit bulls. You get the real thing. Leave the bullies at home.
Bullies is better. And then, yeah, uh, American bullies is just a lovely breed. They just naturally bred for muscle and bone.
Mhm.
I still love my pit bulls though.
Yeah.
That's my pit bull for now.
I'm the
And then,
Black Panther.
okay. And then I would like, from my side, I'd like to thank my team. We only achieving so much because of my team. Terence Balelo helps me with personal training classes,
Mhm.
kids bully-proof
Wow.
classes, Heinrich Jacobs as well with classes,
Mhm.
and then Sarah Fish with the ladies class. And then, of course, our wrestling coach, Hayden Abrams, the best wrestling coach in SA. And then our jiu-jitsu coach, Muhammad Sali, the best jiu-jitsu coach in Africa. We are team, it's all about teamwork, working
Mhm.
towards common goals in developing better human beings.
Mhm. I
Alhamdulillah.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Thank
that.
you very much
We've
for
got
having us, Stanley. It's been great.
Thank you, man. And I hope to see you guys back here soon again. Go win
Yeah.
some medals and some titles there.
Yes.
And please do come
Yes,
back and
we'll do.
report,
We have
because
to report back to
this
you.
this motivates the youngsters. So don't think of it
Yeah.
like just an interview. Many will be
Yeah.
watching this still for years to come. So thank you so much, gentlemen, and
Thank
have a
you very
lekker
much
evening.
for having us. Thank you, Cape Flat Stories. It's been a
All
pleasure.
right.
Likewise.
Thanks, guys. Cheers, cheers. Bye.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Fidaah, Edries, and Terence Balelo from Fighters Inc. Guys, I always tell you, if you have problems with your children, take them to the gym, take them to Fidaah. They are out in Ottery. Fighters Inc. They are on Facebook as well. They are on the internet as well. They have a Facebook page. Uh, um, they have a web page as well. So do take your children. There is guys that are willing to work with your kids. I've seen youngsters going to his gym, and after a few training sessions, they are different children. They are, it's like almost that the sports actually teaches them discipline. I am too old for that sports now. Ek kan nie nou gaan leer hoe om te pansie, but yeah, but he is there to support you guys and to train you guys. Look at what he's done to a few of his students. Some of them are fighting big names. Some of them are going for, hulle gaan fee. So if you in Ottery, our people in Ottery, they always complain about this and that. He's just down the road. Please go and see him. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for years, and I can vouch for him. He's one of the best coaches in South Africa. And when I say that, I do mean it. He's one of the best. So if you take one of our ladies that likes to fight in school, our ladies that likes to fight in the street, take him to Fidaah. Let Fidaah train him. I promise you, you might just have the next MMA champion, world champion. You don't know. So please do and support. Go and support him. And guys, and please like this live and please share it. It's important for this story to get out there so the Terence story can, impact and inspire many others. Guys, have a lovely evening and take care and God bless. Eh? Cheers.